the unique thing about the peninsula is it has so many diversified ecosystems within a really small area. You've got the ocean, you've got the mountains, you've got the eastern side of the peninsula, which is dry, and you've got the Strait of Juan de Fuca. You've got it's like, for me, it's just one big giant nature package in one area. That's why I live here. But the coast, the Olympic coast, like everything else out here, is very unique in the fact that it's pretty much still unspoiled. Having it be in the park, of course, most of the coast in the park is really important to protect it. But I don't think there's any other place in the lower 48 that has an untouched coastline. Yeah, I mean, the Olympic coast is still so wild, and I love that feeling of being small in an environment where you're just a tiny part of this big ecosystem. And you can feel the energy when you're in these wild places, in the coast especially, because the ocean has a lot of natural energy anyway because of all the wave action and everything that's going on. But it's just, for me, it's freedom. It's because I get my soul batteries charged when I'm in nature and the coast, and every place else around here does that for me. Well, I've been a professional photographer for over 50 years, and I got into doing video and filmmaking in about 2007. And the reason I did that is because I wanted to take the experience of being in nature and showing it to people who may not be out in nature all the time, to convey the emotions and the feelings of what it's like to be there. And while still photographs will do that, video will do it even more, because you have a lot more things involved, like time, music, sound, that to me it conveys the feeling of being there. So that's why I got into the whole filmmaking thing, and I've done a lot of it, and I do it again just to, for me. I kind of do it because I feel like I walk the earth to get people high on nature. Because for me, sharing what I feel when I'm out in nature, if I can get that experience across to somebody else, well, then they may want to go out and see it, or be aware of what's out there and how important all this is. Because a lot of people in day-to-day life, they don't relate to nature that much. They're in their environments, but yet we are part of the system. And so if I can get people to understand that and basically to love what is out here, because you will not save what you do not love. I've been here for 46 years, and when I first moved here, the communities and the economy, a lot of it is based on extraction. So they would, they would log it, and they would fish it, and things like that. There's not a lot of farming out here except for swim, and so that is not a sustainable way to go in the long run. Because these trees aren't going, there's only so many trees, there's only so many fish, and I'm seeing a shift, which I am happy about, towards the tourism. And so bringing people here brings in a lot of money, because we have Olympic National Park here, and that is really important, super important to the economy. So I like that side of things, because you bring in money, people get to see this beautiful place. Hopefully they'll love it. But the whole bottom line is that you have to find a way to balance the needs of humans against the needs of nature. So there has to be a balance in there. And because the way that things are going, it's not going to make it. Because, and another bigger problem, not so much out here, is population. The people you have on the planet, the resources that they're eating, and where does all that come from? You can't make clean air, you can't make clean water. So there has to be a thought process where you can come up with a balance so that we can sustain this and try to keep everything in balance. Because if we don't, well, you know the end result's going to be. I've been in at least I think maybe 2 or 3 past film festivals, and I really like what Ian and the rest of the people have done as far as doing this little film festival up here, because again, you know, it brings attention to where we live, you know, because a lot of people that even if they live here, again, they may not be aware of everything that's going on as far as ecosystem. So it's basically it's an educational thing, inspirational thing, and I think for, you know, having it in Forks on the West End is really interesting that they did that. Yeah, so I think they're doing a great job for a small film. So that's why I always support and always, you know, submit films to them. And it's a lot of fun, and it's also I'm learning.